If you have ever wondered why landing a job in Europe, especially for foreign job seekers from developing countries like India, Pakistan, Iran, Brazil, Indonesia, and others, feels like an uphill battle, you're not alone. Whether you are dreaming of working in Europe or already hustling in the European job market, stick around, because I'm going to uncover the 10 biggest paradoxes of European hiring practices, especially those that European recruiters are hiding from you, foreign job seekers. Europe is desperate for skilled workers. 75% of employers across 21 countries couldn't find the right talent in 2023 equipped with the right skills. Sounds like the perfect opportunity for non-European talents, right? Unfortunately, that's not the case. Despite this demand in Europe, foreign job seekers' odds are stacked against them. Consider this. The employment rate for EU nationals is 75%, while for foreign-born individuals already in Europe, it's only 67%, let alone to be a non-European job seeker outside Europe. Why is there such a gap in the employment rate in Europe when there is such a high demand for talent? This paradox is baffling. Companies are crying out for workers, but aren't hiring. Why? The internet was supposed to make job searching easier and more accessible. With just a few clicks, anyone from anywhere can apply for jobs in Europe and across the globe. But here is the paradox. This accessibility has actually made it harder for non-European job seekers to land even interviews. With millions of job seekers submitting applications online, European recruiters are drowning in a flood of resumes. Your application is one of thousands, often filtered out before a human even sees it. Many large companies use applicant tracking system, ATS, that automatically reject up to 75% of application based on algorithms, not actual qualifications. Here is an even bigger issue. Many companies already know who they want to hire before they even post a job. Sometimes job posting are just a legal formality. They already have an internal candidate lined up. Other times, they use postings to collect application for future opening, not to hire immediately, literally a ghost job. And in many cases, jobs are filled internally or through referrals before they even go live on job boards. The result? Your application gets lost in the noise. Your CV never reaches a decision maker. You're unknowingly applying for jobs that were never actually open to external candidates. This is why blindly applying online is a losing game. To break through this paradox, you need to stop relying on job boards and start creating your own opportunities. European employers are obsessed with big local brands. If your CV doesn't show a familiar university or employer name, your odds to land a job in Europe can significantly diminish. It's not about what you can do and willing to do, but the majority of times is about how shiny your credentials look. Based on my 14 plus years of experience in Europe as an international student and professional, I can tell you, unfortunately, in Europe, the emphasis is more on apparent credentials and skills rather on attitude. In Europe, your network can make or break your career. A significant portion of jobs are never advertised, or if advertised, there are already several candidates lined up for it. Every job I have been personally landed in Europe, it came from my network. It was more about who I knew and how they perceived me. So building a strong network isn't optional. It's your secret weapon. Because of this, I've dedicated a 2-part video series where I share with you a step-by-step job hunt strategy on how to land your next European job, irrespective of your desired European country or profession. Here is a classic catch-22. You need experience to get a job, but you need a job to get experience. My story says it all. Back when I was about to graduate for my PhD studies, I applied to hundreds of industrial roles. Academically, I was qualified and I had the drive, the skill, the attitude, but time and again, I was told I lack industry experience. If you happen to study in Europe, make sure that you have gained some, even limited industry exposure, not even experience, through internship or part-time jobs. This might be the most valuable investment during your study in Europe to get that experience, image, and network into your resume. Language is another hurdle in European countries for international job seekers. While English is the working language for many roles, especially tech roles, some employers still insist on local language fluency, even when it's unnecessary. Why? Because it feels comfortable. But for you as a non-local job seeker, if you are in countries like India, Brazil, there is a way to exclude these European employers that drain your energy and motivation. I've talked about it at length in other videos of mine. Ever seen a job ad looking for a unicorn? Companies load job description with buzzwords and endless skill lists, most of which their own team don't even know. Many successful candidates learn on the job, so don't get discouraged by the laundry list you see. In some of the European job ads, focus on showing you're adaptable and curious. Make sure that you reflect the majority of the laundry list with a cautious, optimistic view in your application, especially if you want to land your next job the hard way, which I call it the front door, like sending your application through LinkedIn job posts. Fun fact of this front door for applicants is that more than 98% of Fortune 500 companies using ATS like Workday, Taleo, and Greenhouse. Here is a shocking stat. Almost 40% of employed non-European citizens in Europe are overqualified for their jobs. Why? Because foreign qualifications are undervalued and biases push skilled workers into roles far below their potential. And because of this, European migrant graduates earn 20,000 euro less each year than native graduates with similar degrees and qualifications. It's a vicious cycle. Europe cries out for talent but underutilizes the skilled individuals they hire. Imagine moving across the globe only to find yourself stuck in a role you have outgrown. Let's talk discrimination. Studies in Sweden show that identical resumes with European sounding names get 15% more callbacks than those with non-European names. That says some about this front door for foreign job seekers in Europe. Europe loves ready-made candidates, but here's the thing. Training builds loyalty and bridges skill gaps. Yet, many companies avoid it entirely. For example, employer-provided training rates in Europe vary widely, with southern countries like Greece lagging far behind northern leaders like Latvia. This lack of investment perpetuates the very skill shortages companies complain about. The European job market is challenging, but it's not impossible. If you made it so far in this video, then you are probably ready to take the next step and learn more about an almost guaranteed job hunt strategy in Europe. In my 2-part video series, I break down everything I have learned in a step-by-step process. how to identify right companies in Europe, build the right connection to get your foot in the door to tap into the hidden job market and find an edge for yourself in Europe's competitive job market. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep dreaming, keep exploring, and I see you next time.